Hey, good morning, happy Sunday, or whenever you're watching this. Thanks for taking the time. What I shared in the written part of this above is really it's really been something that has stuck with me, as I said, for a long time. That was 25 years ago that was uttered to me. That moment happened. He got in the car, he looked at me with tears and said, "I am so embarrassed I don't have more faith. I've had so many miracles happen in my life. I'm embarrassed I don't have more faith." And it really hit me in that moment because I could relate. I can tell you how many times in this 32-year dreamer's journey, this hero's journey, when I say that, I'm not a hero. I just mean, as they talk about, that our hero's journey in this lifetime is to overcome all the doubts and fears and insecurities and step into our brilliance and step into our purpose and step into our calling and step into a joy and abundance in the life that we love and deserve, and so yeah, and I'm bringing it up today because a couple things that happened I want to share, and I hope that they inspire you. I was in Hawaii recently, and I was visiting a friend who he and his wife purchased some property a long time ago. Oh, gosh, over 30 years ago, out in the middle of nowhere on the Big Island, 20 acres. They built their own house out there, and it's just, you talk about checking out. That's what they've done, okay? And he was telling me about the first time that he set foot on the property, that he had been shown, some real estate guy was showing him around, and when they pulled up and got out, he said he just burst out laughing. I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because it was grander and greater than I even had imagined." He had been picturing and holding this land. He had you call it whatever you want, an epiphany, a vision, a knowing. Something happened early on in his life that he knew he was going to live in Hawaii, and he was going to live on this beautiful property, and he saw it, and he held it pretty clear for a long time. But as soon as he set foot on the land, it was greater and grander than he had ever imagined. So the theme in today's newsletter is to dream bigger, to dream bigger. I was working on some children's shows for a while. I still am, but they're sitting over here right now. And I was going to go on this multi-city tour, get sponsored by Nike and Major League Baseball, and get a big tour bus and travel around to Major League stadiums. When the teams were away, we'd be in the parking lot, and the youth from the city would come free of charge to see, like a pop-up tent, Cirque du Soleil, and we'd do these shows. And that was the plan, and that was on track. Honestly, it was all lined up. And I came back and I shared all this with one of my sisters, who I admire enormously, and she looked at me like, What are you crazy? You're going to travel around the United States in a tour bus for the next 5 years after touring for over a decade with Vincent? Really? How many kids are you going to reach a week? I go, a couple thousand. She goes, "Jimmy, you should be on TV reaching millions of kids every week, or the internet, or whatever." And her point was what? Dream bigger, right? Dream bigger. And I wonder, I've really, there has been a lot of change going on in my life these days, and I'm trying to really hold myself to that principle, to where am I thinking small? Where am I dreaming with a limited perspective or a small perspective? Look, here, one more. Last night, our studio members, our graduates of the formal training, did a showcase. And the night before, one of our graduates rented a space to do a night of singing, an hour. She rented a space for an hour to basically do a showcase of her beautiful singing voice and her talents, along with some of her classmates, and just fellow musicians she admires. And it was packed with family and friends. And as I sat there, I just was just so incredibly proud of her and happy for her, knowing that to her dying day, to her dying breath, she won't forget what happened last night. You know, Einstein's beautiful teaching, nothing happens till you move. Man, once you start moving in the direction again and purpose of your reason for being here, I know I said this earlier, then that's when the miracles start to happen. Miracles, coincidences, introductions to people, moments, things. But you got to move. You got to move, and you've got to move with fearlessness and with confidence and being congruent inside. So many people go through life with the handbrake on, right? They're going uphill, by the way, after something, and so there's doubt. You know, there's insecurity. You know, what if you could just go after these dreams with complete certainty? Not so much exactly how it's going to look, but that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And that's really the point of today that I want to share, is to not only dream bigger, but dream knowing. There it is. Dream knowing. What one thing are you wanting to do, create, experience, either personally or professionally, relationships or career, that you can expand on it, you can see it grander and greater and more ideal and more wonderful than you could have ever imagined. Hang out there with that. Stay with that. Don't cling to it. I'm talking to myself now, again. That's what I've discovered anyway. Don't cling to it, but hold it clear. Okay? I hope this had value. I hope this made sense today.